Okay, good afternoon, and thank you all for joining Vendini's social selling webinar. Today we're going to be focusing on tips and tricks for using various social media channels to drive fan engagement and maximize ticket sales. I quickly want to introduce our two fantastic presenters today. First, Steve Weisz, our Business Development Director for Live Music. Steve was the CEO of Ticketing and joined the Vendini team last year after the acquisition. Steve has been in the media and live music industry for over 20 years. And second, we have Singh, the founder and CEO of Social Media SF, who is the social media strategist for Boom Boom Room here in San Francisco. Jay works with venues, restaurants, bars, and small businesses to help them develop a roadmap and social media strategy. We're really excited to have you all here, and our presenters are a perfect fit for the subject matter. A few housekeeping items just to let you know you guys are all on mute, and if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the bottom right-hand corner of the GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll be addressing your questions at the end of the 30-minute webinar. I'll leave you in good hands now, and thanks again for joining.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephen Weisz, and I'll be hosting this webinar on social selling for the next 30 minutes. And we're going to move along here with the slides here so you can just follow along. Music and digital media industry for over 20 years. And I'd say one of the most disruptive things that's happened really even over the past 5 years is social media. Social media has played a bigger and bigger role within the music industry year after year, from fans discovering new bands through their Facebook friends, on Spotify, to fans using Facebook to notify and encourage their friends to come with them to upcoming shows. Just a little background on me. As mentioned, before joining Vendini, I was the CEO of Ticketing. We're now based in Sonoma County, California, and we're the new Vendini office here in Northern California. And I helped grow Ticketing really from from grassroots to working with over 50,000 events. I'm a huge music enthusiast. I personally attended over 350 concerts and festivals, and I really am passionate about helping live music promoters and venues make their lives easier and increase fan engagement. Again, feel free to ask any questions throughout the process here, and you'll see in your GoToWebinar there's a questions tab, and you can put them in there. And Jay and I will try to answer those throughout the webinar, and then we'll also have a little time at the end of this. We can do some Q&A. All right, so without further ado, I will dig in. So I want to quickly give an overview about Vendini for those of you who are not familiar with our company. Vendini was started nearly 15 years ago by our CEO, Mark Taki, with a singular mission: to make the business of live events simple. He built a company without taking any outside funding, and rather than simply aiming to please external investors, Vendini has been laser focused on listening to our customers and building our product to help them grow. We're headquartered in San Francisco, and we have offices all over the world, including New York, Boston, Knoxville, Tennessee, Sebastopol, and Italy. And we have over 100 employees worldwide. Vendini is one of the true independent ticketing companies. We are an employee-owned company. We work with hundreds of music venues and festivals, including the Xerox Rochester Jazz Festival, the Elbow Room in Chicago, the Monterey Jazz Festival, and the Mountain Winery in Northern California. All right, moving on. So, why social media? It's no secret that social media plays a huge role in marketing efforts for business, especially in business to consumers or business to fan businesses targeting millennials. But let's dig into why social media is so important. Social media is the #1 source for referral traffic to a website, the #1 source. Recently, there's been a shift in how consumers are finding companies and products to purchase. For the first time, search traffic from engines such as Google and Bing no longer bringing the most traffic to a website. Social media has taken this over. Social media is credited as the #1 source for website traffic. And it's not to say you shouldn't stop investing time and resources into search engine marketing and optimization, but you should be looking to ramp up your social media strategy if you have not already done so. And one of the important things I'll touch on later is if you can measure it, you can improve it. So if you're, of course, we're all doing some form of social media now. If you're not measuring how well it's working for you, that is a key thing you want to be doing. And I'll show you here in just a little bit some things you can do to help improve your social media effectiveness. Number two, social media works on behalf of you and helps you with viral marketing efforts. If someone on social media recommends a product or service, a fan or your customers are 71% more likely to make a purchase. 71% more likely to make a purchase if it's recommended by a friend or another fan, rather than just being promoted by the business or venue itself. Therefore, building social media advocates is just as important as having a presence on social media. Track and incentivize your advocates because they have so much influence on the performance of your venue. Also, make sure you're encouraging your fans to post their plans to attend on various social media channels and make it super simple for them to do it. Ideally with just a click after the ticket purchasing process is complete, or other ways to engage when you're sending out email marketing and whatnot. All right, moving on. One of the things that you can do is integrate your ticket sales directly onto your Facebook page as a buy tickets or get tickets tab, as you can see here from one of the Vendini example clients. Purchase behavior is rapidly changing, and customers are getting more and more comfortable making purchases online. And in fact, greater than 80% of customers prefer buying online compared to in person. 80%, and that's only increasing. Think about all the purchases you made online recently. I can think of 3 purchases I made just yesterday that if I made these purchases 2 years ago, I would have made them in person. I use Amazon to buy my dish soap, light bulbs, and dog food. I used to get in my car and visit the pet store and big box stores to make these purchases in the past. Going online and getting things delivered right to my house is so much more convenient. I'm saving time and lots of gas in some cases. Another interesting fact is that greater than 50% of customers want to make a purchase right from social media. That's a huge increase from just a few years ago. They don't want to have to switch around from site to site to complete a purchase, and they especially don't want to navigate a complicated website to make a purchase. Now, even with well-designed sites, every time a fan goes to a new website that they're unfamiliar with, it's like they have to go through a whole new training. Fans of live music are particularly familiar and comfortable on Facebook, so if you can embed your ticket purchasing process right in an interface they're used to and they're already up to speed on, that's a plus. It helps those conversions happen quicker. 25% of customers won't complete a purchase because of a poorly structured website. So make it as seamless as possible for your fans to make purchases within social media. And Vendini offers our members the ability to sell tickets right from Facebook. So there's no need to ever leave Facebook for them to purchase a ticket. So that's what you see on the left. Now on the right-hand side, as I mentioned before, if you measure it, you can improve it. So whether you're using Vendini or not, this is something you get automatically with Vendini, all this Facebook metrics. But even if you're not using Vendini or you're interested in looking at this, this is one of the things that we find very valuable. And check with your current provider, or if there's some way to track your social media interaction. So what you see here on the right is in Vendini, we automatically track all of your click-through activity. We track all of your shares and who your top fans are that are promoting your events. So you can see month by month how many click-throughs on the Facebook ticket purchasing process, as well as how many times it's being shared. And you can click on any of these numbers and drill down, so you can see at the bottom top 10 promoting patrons. And this is a great way to identify who your most influential patrons are, your influential fans, and then you can even reach out to them and incentivize them with, a complimentary beer or tickets or a pre-sale to particular events. All right, moving on. Now, does everyone know what I'm showing here? Most of you probably do. This is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge that was in the summer of last year that raised awareness of debilitating diseases. And through the social media campaign, nearly 2.5 million videos were uploaded and tagged to the challenge. Wouldn't we all love that? We post up one of our events and we get 2.5 million comments or likes. I mean, that's unheard of. This was one of the largest viral and most successful campaigns that ever took place. Millions of participants and hundreds of celebrities joined in. And this viral challenge helped Facebook hit a new record on video views with over 1 billion video views per day. And the ALS Association reported that they received over 41 $8 million in just under a month of this campaign. This was a record-breaking campaign and unlike any other of its kind. So you're probably asking, what does it mean to your venue? So this is just a great example of a way that they've engaged fans and created a true viral campaign. We're not going to go too deep into this particular campaign, but we'll talk about some best strategies here. Now, though you may not start a contest on the same level as the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, it should give you inspiration on the type of contest you could run with your fans. So another metric here is a third of fans like a Facebook page or follow a brand on Twitter to be notified of contests or to be entered into a contest. So having a contest is a good way to engage fans with social media, but it's also important it's not just doing contests, but it's about how you approach it. And the key thing is user-generated content is extremely powerful. So the user-generated content from people that you don't know influences people as well. It doesn't actually have to be from just your friends and family. That half the people that go on social media, if there's content from other users that aren't their friends and family, they're more likely to engage with your brand. Kind of interesting fact there. And we recommend that if you do a contest, you require your fans to upload some content, like a video or an image, instead of just reposting a photo or liking something. And I'm going to hand this off to Jay here in just a little bit. He'll show you of some examples of that. Another smart technique is to create a unique hashtag for your competition and to use this hashtag on all of your social media. And this will help expand your reach and make it easier for fans to find your venue. Lastly, it seems like common sense, but announce the winner and make call-outs to the winners. So this always helps because then the fans see that there's real winners, people get recognized. You want to continue to engage with the fans, so not just announcing the winners, but also calling out to the other participants and even having honorable mentions or some other consolation prizes is also a way to keep people engaged. All right, moving on. So we use that word a lot, engagement, fan engagement. And what that means is it's not just one-way channel. We encourage your venue to use social media as it's intended. It's a two-way road. Your job isn't done when you post your content for the day. You need to use social media to follow your fans, like posts, and retweet. Retweeting is a really powerful tool. Even if you're not using Twitter all that much, if you want to get into it and don't know what content to post, you can always look at the tweets that bands and artists are doing that are going to be playing at your venue, and you can simply retweet those. Then the artists and bands actually get notified about that, and a lot of times they'll do shout-outs back to your venue and thanking you. You can also do that with your fans. Also, a good technique is to ask questions and encourage open and honest feedback. Ask your fans who they'd like to see perform at your venue or get their feedback on a new sponsorship or campaign that you're doing. We'll also take a look at this in just a minute, some creative ways to do that. Another fun way to engage the fans is to use polls and quizzes and thank them for participating. That's the other thing about giving the shout-outs to the winners and the other participants, and thanking people for being a part of the venue or coming out for a particular event. All right, moving on. Here is an interesting thing that I found as I was looking on Facebook, and it's a type of a poll. It's a perfect example of using social media to open up communication with your fans or customers and honestly create fan loyalty. So Atomic is a rental company for event design and props. They posted a question to their network simply asking their opinion on the name of their new product line. Now, this wasn't even a contest or anything like that, and this is actually a music industry provider that typically is a business-to-business organization, that there's not as much fan engagement that happens in the B2B world. So they did a really great job of posing this question, making it very easy. The way they framed this question, they gave two options so that their network could quickly respond and not have to dwell on the response for too long or mull over several choices or get distracted doing something else. This is a great way to interact with your fans. They got a tremendous amount of response, and they basically asked, hey, what should we call our new product, Vents or Hive? And people could just quickly say what they wanted there, and they had a lot of people talking about it, and it was an interesting way to get get communication between their customers and partners. All right, moving on. I want to show one more example of a creative way to engage with your patrons before I pass it off to Jay. One of Vendini's members, Fallon Hall, is one of the oldest theaters in the United States and located in North Carolina. They recently reached out to their patrons and asked them to submit any questions, similar to Reddit's Ask Me Anything campaign. Anyone that asked a question was entered into a contest to win tickets to a performance at their theater. They received over 30 questions ranging from questions about their theater being haunted to how often they cleaned their chandelier to the history behind the nickname of the marketing director. This is a fantastic and fun way to get your fans involved, and you may even get some questions that encourage improvements to your venue, such as renovations or an artist to pursue. Some concrete ideas for your venue might include ask fans who they'd like to see on your venue's 5th, 10th, or 15-year anniversary, or give them 3 options to choose from or leave it open-ended. Or ask fans who they'd rather see sponsor an upcoming event and name a few potential beer or liquor sponsors. All right, so that's about what I have here for you. I hope it's been a good kind of high-level overview. Now I'm going to hand this off to Jay Singh, who's even more of an expert in social media and has worked with a lot of events as well. So Jay, I now hand it off to you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Steve, and the team at Vendini. Boom Boom Room really appreciates the partnership between Vendini and Boom Boom Room. They help us sell a lot of tickets, and we've been using in-ticketing for about 12 years now, and really appreciate the business. My name is Jay Singh, and my company, Social Media SF, is based out of San Francisco. Social Media SF was founded in 2010 to capitalize the rise of social media by brands and businesses. To date, I've consulted with hundreds of businesses, and I currently work with over 35 different bars and restaurants and clubs and some small businesses in the Bay Area. We specialize in providing a voice and creating a dialogue between businesses and its customers. So Social Media SF handles Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages for the Boom Boom Room in San Francisco, and I'll share some insights on how we manage these platforms successfully, and hopefully you'll get some ideas and insights of what we do. And as Steve mentioned before, if you have any questions or comments, we'll take some time to answer them between the webinar or after this webinar ends. So a lot of brands are using these platforms to tell their stories, and you should definitely use them too. So moving along to Facebook, let's talk about Facebook. Facebook, is, as everyone knows, a giant of all social media platforms with over 1.4 billion people on it. You can even imagine the possibilities you can have, as Steve already explained, that why social media is so important and the power it has. But before you do anything, you have to understand a few things about how social media actually works and how to use it effectively and how to effectively gain fans and grow engagement. Engagement is the word that everyone uses. The key to successful selling on Facebook is to build trust with your fans. And the way you do this is by providing valuable and useful information to your fans. Regularly posting updates, interest of your audience, and then promote these posts on Facebook using the Facebook ad platform. You should join a discussion, as mentioned before, or start your own discussion. Answer questions and encourage and inspire your fans to use them. As they recognize you and your stuff and how you are trustworthy and authentic, your sales are bound to grow. Selling on Facebook is easy. It is the #1 source of referrals, as Steve explained. So the 3 key basic things is always include an image with your post. Images increase engagement, and you'll get more likes and shares if you have a good image. Weekends are, again, very great time to post your updates because you see more and more people making plans for the weekends, and we always see more activity on our pages on Thursdays and Fridays. And lastly, always ask your fans and questions and create a poll. Creating a poll is easy on Facebook. It gives you the ability to create a poll and asking questions like, who's your favorite band? Who would you like to see at the Boom Boom Room? So we always do that and ask questions from fans, which is very important. Now, as you know, Facebook is very important on social media. You have to create an event for your venue. So whenever there's an event that you want to promote, having a Facebook event is very important so people can RSVP and tell their friends they're attending. And once you get a yes or a maybe RSVP, you can contact them by writing updates on the event page so people get notified. And the other thing that you can do on Facebook is promote that event on the Facebook ad platform. I can talk a lot about Facebook ad platform, but that will take another webinar. So if you have any questions and comments or you need any help on Facebook ads, particularly Power Editor that Facebook has, you can use Power Editor because you can actively target any kind of people you want to see, especially people who like music, people who like live venues. And we have a pretty big budget for Facebook page for the Boom Boom Room, and we started with 1,500 fans 3 years ago. Now we are over 11,000 fans. And one of the key metrics you see on Facebook page, when you see your insights, you can see how many people have actually checked into your venue. For example, our Boom Boom Room page, Facebook page, in the last 1 week has about 450 check-ins, which is about 75 check-ins a day. So if 75 people are checking in for shows, you can imagine how many other people are there who are not checking in. And we always encourage our fans to check in before a show, after the show, when the curtains are down, when we introduce the band. We encourage them to share their updates on Facebook and Twitter, and we use hashtags for that. So if you ask any small business how they grow their business, the answer will always be word of mouth and referrals. And what social media does is make the word of mouth at scale at a much easier to generate referrals, and Facebook makes it easier to target your friends or fans, and that itself is very huge. So moving along to Instagram. Instagram as a platform every platform on social media has its own distinct purpose. Instagram is visual and approachable way to build your brand online with the millennials. It's a very visual platform, and bright photos get the best results. There are 300 monthly active users on Instagram right now. So one of the best ways to get attention on Instagram is to always have a great caption, a catchy caption, and always have relevant hashtags. Don't overdo the hashtags, but definitely use some hashtags that other fans or your friends might be using to search. We always see increase in activity when we use videos on Instagram. We've been experimenting with Instagram for about a year, the Boom Boom Room, and we have over 800 fans. And whenever we put up videos from last night's shows, or we put up real-time videos, the activity increases tremendously. So always remember to have a witty caption, use hashtags. The other thing that you can also do is partner with other brands and talk about them, and have the other brand talk about you. So when you have 3 or 4 other brands talking about your brand, in our example for the Boom Boom Room, we always tag the bands that are playing. We also tag the genre of the music they're playing. For example, if it's hip hop, if it's funk, if it's rock, if it's soul, if it's reggae, we always tag all the possible hashtags, so other people are listening to reggae music or looking for reggae music in the area, they can easily find us. As Steve said before, make it seamless, make it easy for your fans to find you, and make the process very seamless. The lastly, very important thing is definitely subscribe to the Instagram's blog, because they have amazing ideas, and they always tell you what the trending topics are. Use the trending hashtags. Even if it's photo of the day, POTD, whatever it is, use a hashtag, but use them wisely. Do not overfill your newsfeed with hashtags, but definitely use bright photos, interact with other brands on your posts, and subscribe to the Instagram blog. Will give you an idea of how to actually make your double tap on the picture so people can like you. Moving along to Twitter. Twitter also is very, very powerful microblogging site. Similar to Instagram, it has 300 million monthly active users. It's an amazing way to monitor your brand. I always tell people, number one thing you have to do, if you have not downloaded the app on your phone, you must download the app on the phone, because you will get a lot more notification than you can get on desktop. The notifications that come on the email, you probably forget about it, you take care of it the next day. But when you get a notification on your phone, get on it right away, because you can follow people back, you can see what the interests are, you can see what people are doing. And the top 3 things on Twitter, which we always say, is communicate deals and promotions. People are more likely to buy from you when they're referred by other friends. So retweet other deals, see which other people are talking about you, so you can communicate deals and promotions. I'll show you what we are doing on Twitter and Instagram for the Boom Boom Room, we're just having a contest, and we're getting a pretty good response on it. Secondly, place a URL in the middle of the post. I know this might not sound right, but always use the bit.ly to shorten your link. Twitter offers that too. Some softwares like Sprout Social and Hootsuite offer that too. So when you place your URL in the middle of the post, you're more likely to get more clicks. And of course, don't forget an image, because what Twitter is trying to do is create a timeline like Facebook is doing. So you don't have to click for pictures. When you scroll the Twitter timeline, the photos automatically show up. So to get better engagement, even if the person likes the photo, you're more likely to get a favorite or a retweet. And as we mentioned before, Steve mentioned before, that when somebody mentions you or retweets you, they all automatically get a notification too. So it's very important to go out there, retweet, see who's talking about you. Go to search.twitter.com to see what kind of noise your brand is having. If it doesn't have any noise, create some noise. It's a full-time effort, and that's why we offer these services to clients who are busy, but we take care of the conversation for them. So the last thing I would say is keep your post short and direct to grab attention. Always attach a call to action button like buy now, click here, do this, do that. So it's very important to create that. Moving along to the next slide, I'd like to show you the Boom Boom Room's Facebook page. As mentioned, we had 1.5 thousand, like 1,500 people 3 years ago. Now we are over 11,000 likes. The reason we got to this because we used the Facebook ad platform, and I've been using it since its inception. And I've become an expert on Facebook ads using Power Editor, or you can just use the Boost feature. If you create a budget for your brand, even if it's $10 a day, $20 a day. For example, if we are using $20 a day on Boom Boom Room's page, each update for $20, you can show that update from depending from 5,000 to 10,000 people, depending on the way you are promoting it. You can promote it to just your fans. You can promote the update to the friends of the fans, or you can create an entirely new list to target. So there's no end to that. As I said, we have 450 check-ins last week, approximately 75 a day, because we're open 6 days a week. So you can just imagine the possibilities. We use hashtags. We always create an event on Facebook page for the band. We tag the bands. We let the bands know that we have an event if they have their own event. And we also use a very important feature. We have a Facebook group for the Boom Boom Room street team. What the street team does, we are about 25 people strong right now. They individually have approximately 500 friends each. So the street team invites all their friends to the shows. The street team, all they have to do is distribute flyers and talk about the show, and they get free entry for any show they want. So always use other brand ambassadors for you. You just leverage the amount of brand ambassadors you can use and say, hey, go talk about my show, and we'll get you free entry. The thing is, they're inviting 500 friends, which we don't have the power to invite. So if 12 people are inviting 500 friends, there's already 6,000 people that are being invited to the show. Moving along to the next slide. This is one of the graph from the Boom Boom Room's Instagram page, and we always use captions within the photos. Captions within the photos are always good, because then people know what your hashtag is, what your brand hashtag is. Our brand hashtag is Boom Boom Room SF, and the best way to see this on Instagram is see how many people have checked into the venue. If you go to your brand page and if you go to the map, and if you click on Boom Boom Room, we can see all the people who were there the day before and who uploaded photos. Then we retweet those photos, or we say thank you to them. If a person takes 5 minutes to take a picture and tag us, the least we can do is thank them. And we've seen great activity from other people who we didn't even know were following us, and then we follow them back on Instagram. So this is how we keep the engagement going. You have to be out there, because as I said, different platforms have different reasons. For Facebook, people want to see what's going on in this week. Instagram is more real time, and Twitter is more real time. So I'll show you an example of what kind of contest we're doing if we move on to the next slide. This is a grad from the Instagram for the Boom Boom Room. Currently, we are at we are just over 780 fans now, and it tells you it tells you a little thing about our club, then tells you, as you can see, we posted a lot of videos on the right-hand side. If you see, most of them are videos. These are videos that we post from the night before to let people know what they missed, or we'll use a video that somebody else uploaded who was there last night and say, hey, look what you guys missed, and look at the show, and look at the coming up shows. If you want to buy tickets, head on to boomboomtickets.com or boomboomblues.com for your tickets. The next slide is the contest, and everyone's welcome to participate in it. The contest, we're giving away 2 tickets to Papa Mali on May the 22nd. So you have we're going to announce the winners on the 15th. So you have 15 more days. For now, we are on Twitter. We've got about 15 retweets on this, and on Instagram we've got about 10 or 11 tags. The last I checked. So in all, we've got about 23 people talking about this. By the end of the contest, hopefully we have 50 or 60, and then we'll pick a winner, and then we announce the winners, and we let other people know, hey, thanks for participating. Be a part of the community. Let them know. They should know that, hey, we don't always have to buy tickets. We are trying to do something for the fans. And as Steve mentioned before, 70% of the fans who join us or follow us or like us want to be a part of the contest, or they want to be one of the first people to know what's going on. So moving along to the next slide, we have some questions and comments. If you guys have any questions and comments, we'd love to answer some comments from you guys. Hope you enjoyed this mini webinar, and if you need more assistance in Facebook, Twitter, or any kind of social media needs, you can check out my website at socialmediasf.com. I can hop on the phone and talk to you guys. I'd love to help you guys. I love the partnership we have with Vendini, with the Boom Boom Room. As I said, we've been working there for 12 years, and we highly recommend them. It's a very easy tool to sell tickets, and we use the power of Facebook ads to drive more engagement and to let people know, hey, this is what we're doing. This is the show coming up. Visit us at the Boom Boom Room, and if you haven't visited us, go buy a ticket and come join the show. So I'll get this back to Steve, and I'll wait for you guys any questions or comments. And thanks again for your time.
Thanks, Jay. That was great. And we have Sydney. I don't think we have any questions coming up in the module here.
Actually. We just got 2 coming through. The first one that I wanted to give you guys is from Melissa. They want to know, how do you recommend that that they handle negative comments or posts on their Facebook page?
Do you want me to answer that?
Sure.
Please, go ahead.
Okay. I'll try and answer this question. Well, I work with a lot of restaurants, and we see a lot of people using Yelp, and the restaurants are really scared of Yelp. But I let them know that when someone leaves a negative comment, that's your chance to let everybody know what you're all about. Sometimes it's good, and especially if it's a false or a negative comment, you can always step up and write to them and let them know, hey, sorry this happened. Let me make it up to you. We really apologize about for dropping the ball on you. What can we do to help you? So a lot of negative comments come out because they were not happy with the service, or they were not treated right. So as a business owner, especially a small business owner, you don't want unhappy customers. So I think a very important thing to do is when somebody writes a review as positive or negative, especially negative, they expect an answer within an hour or 2. Some people expect within minutes, which is not possible. What I like to do, acknowledge the mistake, let them know you're sorry, and ask them to come back again. Give them a freebie, give them a free ticket to a show, as in this case. We had, for example, I'll tell you a negative review we got one time. We don't have any no backpack policy at the Boom Boom Room. Some guy came in, he had a backpack. We couldn't let him in because that's the policy. So he got pissed off and wrote a really bad review. So we wrote back to him publicly, letting him know, hey, this is our policy. We're really sorry that we couldn't let you in. He didn't have a ticket, We said, you know what, come back again with your date, and we'll buy a ticket for you. We don't want you to be an unhappy customer. Since it was our policy, there's nothing we can do about it, and the doorman is not going to let you in just because we have a policy. So I think it's very important. As I said, this is your chance to prove yourself that, hey, we are not that bad. Come on back, and So for negative reviews, I think the most important thing is get back to them immediately. Don't waste time on it, and be genuine and be transparent, so that they know there's a human behind it and not just an automated reply. So this is your opportunity to let people know that, hey, you're genuinely there and you genuinely care about their customers. So that's what I would say about negative comments.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. This is Steve again. Absolutely. That a positive word of mouth generates 2 times more sales than paid advertising and results in almost 50% higher retention rate. In addition to being the CEO of a ticketing company and now running the live music division for Vendini, I've been on every single side of the business. First and foremost, as a fan, a little antidote here. 13 years ago when I started in ticketing, one of the big reasons I started it was because I had a really bad experience as a fan with Ticketmaster, and I tried to work it out with their customer support and eventually taking it to the point where I had to do a chargeback with my credit card because I just wasn't being supported properly. And had I felt like the customer support team had cared about me and had done anything to try to assist me in rectifying it, I actually would have been a much more loyal fan, and instead it created this whole challenge and resentment almost that sparked me to create a better solution than what was already out there. So as Jay's talking about, use this as an opportunity to create these advocates. We have people that buy tickets from us, everything's fine, they never have to talk to customer support, they go to the event, they have a great time. We have other people that have problems. They didn't get their email confirmation, they need help reprinting their ticket, some challenge or another. And when they have first contacted us to complain, and then our friendly customer support staff goes above and beyond to help them out, recognizing them as a real person just like anybody else, just like me, you, anybody else, that person more times than not says, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I expected for you to just shut down and hang up the phone on me and not help me at all, and you've been so helpful. I'm going to actually tell everybody about this experience, that of how good it was and how helpful you guys have been. So it really does create truly loyal fans if you use that, take adversity and use it as an opportunity. So it can be spun in a positive way.
Correct. Thank you,
Great,
Steve.
guys. We actually have a couple more questions. Lauren wants to know, what is the best way to choose a contest winner? Is there a way to do it randomly from all entrants?
A good question. Well, on Facebook, you can use third-party apps because Facebook has a policy of not to do a contest directly on your page. But there are several third-party apps. Some are free, some are not. That can help you do a contest. On Instagram and Twitter, I just showed you the example of what the contest you should do. You should definitely include a hashtag. Encourage people to join. Make it real easy. Don't make it too difficult, and don't let them. They have to open 3 apps, and they have to click on 3 links, and they have to give you all the information. I think it should be very simple. You have to keep it very, very simple online because you don't want to confuse anybody, and you've got to make it open for everybody. So as long as everybody's involved and you're not being biased to somebody, I think you should definitely have a contest. Facebook contests are great because you have the ability to promote them. On Instagram and Twitter, you don't need a third-party app, but you can use them. But I think the best way is to make your contest relevant to what you're doing. If you're a live venue, then of course ticketing is giving away tickets is one of the best things that we've seen grow engagement because everyone loves free tickets. So, for example, on Instagram and Twitter, definitely use a specific hashtag so you can track it, and then you can choose a winner. And on Facebook, when you use a third-party app, they will identify a winner for you, and they will contact him for you too. Hopefully that answers. Steve, do you want to get some input on that?
Yeah. If you just get your list of all your people who've submitted, copy it and just even throw it into an Excel sheet. each person will have a line number. You know, say you have 100 people submit, so every fan is number 1 through 100. You know, there's online. You can just search random number generator. You can even go to random.org. They have an integer. Generator, and you say, hey, pick a number, give me a random number between 1 and 100, and you can just let the computer pick a number, go down to Excel, choose that as your winner.
Got it.
And I think we have time for one last question from Jen. She said, you mentioned that images increase engagement on Facebook, but we're actually seeing that less people see our posts if they include images than a post with just text. If our reach is decreased from posting images, shouldn't we just continue to post just text?
Well, that's also a very good question, but the thing is, different industries work differently on Facebook. Facebook keeps changing their algorithm nearly every month. I see new things on Facebook all the time. One of the biggest things, or one of the biggest changes Facebook has done is the posts are not actually reaching their fans. First, they said you got to pay to buy the likes, and once your page gets up to, for example, 1,000 likes, when you post an update, it's only going to 10 or 15 people. And if you want to reach more people, you got to pay to play. And that's what Facebook is trying to do, and that's their only revenue model. Is they're like, okay, if you want to reach 500 out of your 1,000 fans, pay us $5, and we'll make sure that it goes to all your fans. So that's why for any advertising, you have to have a budget. If you have a budget, then you will not go over the specified budget. I think everybody has some kind of a marketing budget, even if it's $100 a month. You have to have a budget. Then strategically plan. You have a scheduling calendar, which is one of the most important things that we do for our clients. Is our clients already know what's going to be posted in this week, or sometimes even 2 weeks out. So we know that on Thursday and Friday when we post this update, we're going to put some money on it. Put $5, put $10, so you know that. Make sure that you're not wasting your time just posting this update and it's not going to people. So the question about you getting more interaction with text, that's fine. If you're getting more interaction with text, just use text, but promote it. If you promote it, you can send it out to your friends or fans too. So not only will your fans know, but the friends of the fans will also know. Which I think Facebook's ad platform is a boon to small businesses. For bigger companies, it might be a problem spending thousands of dollars every day, but for small businesses, if you can afford $5 to $10 a day, you should definitely promote your posts. And you can even read about, you can go to facebook.com/ads, and they'll tell you about how ads, what kind of ads will work for you, what kind of ads you should use, and how much your budget should be. And I think it's very important to use Facebook ads or Power Editor to target your fans, because you don't have to waste your time you don't have to waste time making updates for people who are not even going to see it. So when you do know that you're going to see it, post some money on it, and you will see better interaction. And I still think photos make great engagements, but sometimes, depending on, especially for a live music venue, I think photos of pictures of bands who are playing do really well, and especially if it's a lead singer or the lead guitarist, or you can introduce people, and I think that creates far more engagement than just text. Back to you.
Great. Well, I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to be sending out a recording of the webinar as well shortly, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Steve, Jay, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. All the best. And as I said, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much.